You've had a couple days to look at Albany. What do you see?
They're an experienced team. I can remember them. I didn't think about it, but after I watched them, I remember them playing North Carolina last year when we were down playing in the NCAA last year. So they got good size. They're 4 and 5. They look to lob to them a lot. Their center 6'8", 9. Keeps the ball up extremely well. And, they play a 2-3, but they extend. They play a little bit like Syracuse men. They really extend and try to get steals up on the wing. So they extend on their zone a little bit more. So, we're going to have to be careful on ball reversals and that type of stuff.
What kind of problems does a 6'8" center present?
Well, just being 6'8", she doesn't bring it down. We just got to push her off the block. If she's off the block, then she's not as effective. But if she can stand on the block, catch, and just doesn't bring the ball down, puts it above her head, and tries to score.
Fortunate she's not named Griner, huh?
Yeah. No, she's not as mobile as Griner. But she does a good job keeping it up. And needless to say, when we drive the paint, it's going to be 6'8" standing there. So, we just got to be a little bit more aggressive. Instead of settling to shoot over the 6'8", we need to go around the 6'8" player and be aggressive in offensive rebounds and that type of stuff.
You've seen and have been at sites where there have been upsets, first, second rounds and things like that. Is there a common factor that goes into that in the years that you've kind of been a part of this tournament? Is there one thing you can put your thumb on that why a team gets upset?
Well, I think it's a little bit of ego. I think teams go in, that they play in a larger conference, and they think they've had a great year, and some of these other conferences are very good too. And you look at Albany, they're 26-4, I think is what their record is. They're used to winning, and they're used to being in the NCAA. So we really can't go in there and take them for granted because they're a good basketball team. They got height. They're not as deep as some of the teams we play against in the league, but, they have some athletes and they have some people that can score, and their defense, in my opinion, is a little bit like TCU's, but more aggressive up on the wings with their forwards.
You can kind of, you stress that stuff, and they watch the films and everything, but do they really take it in?
If that was the case, you wouldn't have all the upsets you had yesterday in men's basketball. That happens every year. It just, I'm hoping because we have so many seniors that, this is their last go. Mm-hmm. That they'll be focused and understand that you have to win the first game before you get to the second game. And, coaches a lot smarter than me have tried to figure this out why there's upsets. And it just happens because, those teams are going to play hard. They're in the NCAA for a reason.
If you knew why it happened, you'd
right.
know.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. A lot of men coaches have been calling me yesterday.
What difference does it make to your team having Brooke ready to play and able to give you quality minutes?
Well, I think when Brooke's able to play, you really can't cheat as much off our point guards as you can on Linda and Darius. And that's good because, everybody around them now is going to be played straight up a little bit. And then we can make you pay. When Brooke's in there, we can make you pay when your point guard goes double Asia and she's spotted up because she can hit that three. And if she can hit 2 or 3 of them, and then all of a sudden you got to change your strategy a little bit.
Is there any pressure heading into the tournament right now?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. One game you're done. I'm not going to sit here and say, no, heck no, there's no pressure. Absolutely, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure, on the players. But, we tried to make it a little bit relaxed. I don't think they're tight. I don't think they're excited. And they, if we can go get this first game, I think it's always the first one's the hardest because you're just getting on the floor. You haven't played for a while. That's the other thing. And timing and that type of stuff. So we got to go there, just play hard. I told them today, we just played hard defense. We're not hitting shots. Just play defense, rebound, get on the boards on both sides, and get to the foul line. Keep them off the foul line, and then good things will happen.
Coaching in a one-and-done tournament, is it different than coaching in the season, or do you have to avoid that? Or
yeah, I try to avoid it. Because there's a lot of pressure. not only you as a coach and your staff, but on the players. And you know, man, there is no more right now. And then when you're making mistakes out there, you're not hitting shots, you kind of get a little tight. And as a coach, you need to stay loose a little bit and just say, that's okay. Just, you know, that's a good thing about this team. We're not hitting our shots. We can stay in a game because of our defense and rebounding. And then when we start hitting shots is when that's why we've been able to come back, you know, in games a lot this year, because we continue to play defense. If you're not scoring, you can't give up points. And we've done a good job of that.
How about coaching practice? I mean, you got a one-day turnaround. I mean, you got to practice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what problems does that present? And, I mean, do you just have to be basic or?
Yeah, well, it presents more problems for the players. You know, we know if we win the next round, we're going to play Georgia Tech or LSU. Well, we've already started breakdowns. I mean, as coaches, you're pretty prepared ahead. Or players, you don't want them worrying about LSU or Georgia Tech. So they're concentrating right now on Albany. And we probably, you know, we as coaches and staff know a lot more about the other teams than they do right now.
What have you learned from past tournament experiences that'll help you this time around?
Just score more than they do, you know, and we're used to going on people's home floor. I mean, let's be honest, I don't know how many times we went to NCAA since I've been here. We haven't been playing on people's home floor. So, and this team, again, I've said this for 2 years, this team doesn't mind going on people's home floor. So that's good. Now, I've had teams that don't play well away, and that's when you get in problems going in the NCAA.